All the footage that you just watched was shot on the Mini 3 Pro in 4K 24 frames per second in the normal color profile using no ND filters. Now before I show you the comparison videos and photos of the Mini 3 Pro and the Mavic 3, there's just a few things I want to explain. First, now I have clients that specifically ask for footage that comes from the Mavic 3 because they want it in D-Log, or specific clients that ask me to film with the Mavic 3 in normal color profile as well. I'm going to talk about using the Mini 3 Pro professionally, but specific to real estate use. So recently I took my Mavic 3 and my Mini 3 Pro on a road trip to film a beautiful piece of property which is about an hour 15 minutes from where I live, and I wanted to put the Mini 3 Pro to the test. I filmed what I had to with the Mavic 3 and took the photos as well, and then I flew the Mini 3 Pro to get some footage with it. Now I only have one battery, so I did the most I could. It was also golden hour, so I got tempted to fly further away by the lake and get some sunset shots as well. Now take a look at the footage of the Mini 3 Pro and the Mavic 3 side by side. For someone who works on stuff like this on a day-to-day basis, it's easier for me to tell that the Mavic 3 has better dynamic range when it comes to videos and photos. But for someone who just wants to upload some nice looking video to their website and probably just share it on social media, and who don't even need it in 4K, they just want it in 1080p, you're not going to be able to tell much difference. And to be honest, the Mini 3 Pro footage looks amazing. It looks pretty much the same as the Mavic 3, but like I said, you can tell a little bit of a difference in terms of dynamic range, but that's only when you go like deep into, like, you know, color grading and stuff like that. Filming in decent alike in 10-bit color will give you even more flexibility to color grade your Mini 3 Pro footage, but it does a great job even when filming in the normal color profile. Will I be using this on more of my real estate shoots? Absolutely. I love the photos that come out of this. I mean, you can shoot 48 megapixel photos, and that's just crazy. I mean, not that it's required, but it's good to have these features. And I also tend to use the POI or spotlight mode when filming real estate, so that comes in real handy as well, and I'm glad that it's there on the Mini 3 Pro as well. Now, when there's super professional projects that really require me to edit in D-Log and get better dynamic range, or to shoot at times when, you know, there's not enough light, then I'm gonna lean more towards the Mavic 3, of course, to get the best dynamic range, because it's got the best camera. Now, Ken from Original Dobo does this a lot as well, and here's what he has to say as well about using the Mini 3 Pro for professional work.
The 48 megapixels works absolutely outstanding. I had no issues with that. However, it's not necessary. You don't need 48 megapixels for real estate photography, videography. Nobody's going to be doing that much pixel peeping. And because nobody's doing that much pixel peeping, I just use the standard auto bracketed exposures. Using 3 brackets, I would typically choose the 2 best photos out of the bracket, or sometimes 1 photo out of the bracket, to be my main hero shot. And then from there, I would make my final tweaks, such as adjusting the skies or replacing the skies even to get my final image. It really all depended on what I was doing for the client, whether or not I was going to replace the sky or leave the sky. Now, some things I did notice with some of these photos as we're looking through them is there is a little bit of chromatic aberration and some purple fringing if you look really close. But again, with real estate photos, nobody is doing any sort of pixel peeping. Us as photographers, us as hobbyists, we're going to be a lot more critical than a potential home buyer or even a real estate agent. They're not going to be zooming all the way in at 200% saying, well, wait a second, I'm not buying this house, there's some purple fringe in there. They're just not doing that, so it's not something that you have to worry about.
If you're interested in watching Ken's video, I'll make sure to link it down in the description below. The Air 2S also does an amazing job when it comes to professional work because it's got 10-bit D-Log, a 1-inch sensor, and shoots 20 megapixel photos. And it's not that much more expensive than the Mini 3 Pro, but I would still lean more towards the Mini 3 Pro for 2 reasons. 1, it's super quiet. I don't really have to talk to the neighbors before filming and let them know, hey, I might be flying close by, there's a drone buzzing by. So this is just so quiet, it just like passes you by, you don't even really notice it. Second, vertical videos. A lot of my clients are starting to ask about vertical videos because they want to share it on their media platforms, and being able to rotate the gimbal vertically on the Mini 3 Pro helps because you can better frame your shots and take vertical photos as well. And all I need to do is just bring it home, edit it as well. Another good thing about that is now with the recent update, the Mini 3 Pro can film master shots in vertical mode as well. So I could probably use some quick shots and master shots to get, some really quick shots of the property, and, just come home, do some edits, and just make a nice reel in vertical mode to share it on social media. Hope you guys enjoyed that video, and if you're interested in learning how I get better hyperlapses with the Mini 3 Pro, make sure to check out the video here or in the description below. I'm going to talk about using the Mini 3